Hello, and welcome back to Everyday English Learning. Real English for your real life.
Hi, I'm Jake.
And I'm Lily. Today, we are talking about your actual morning, not the perfect one.
Good, because I hit the snooze button 3 times today.
Only 3? You are doing better than me.
I finally rolled out of bed at the last minute.
That is real life. But talking about those routines in English can feel strange.
Exactly. When someone asks about my day, I sound like a textbook robot.
You mean the classic, I wake up at 7 o'clock and I eat toast.
Yes, I sound like I am reading a worksheet from 20 years ago.
And that is frustrating when your real morning is fast, messy, and complicated.
It is. I feel embarrassed, like my English is stuck in the past.
That feeling is completely normal, and you do not need perfect vocabulary to fix it.
I hope so, because my brain is still half asleep in the morning.
You don't have to catch every word today. Just follow the main ideas.
That takes the pressure off.
We will give you a few natural phrases later in meaning moments.
I definitely need those.
First, let's look at why talking about your day feels so unnatural.
Okay, I am ready to stop sounding like a robot.
Most of us learn to talk about our days using a timeline.
Yeah, first this happens, then that happens.
Exactly. We describe our mornings like a strict train schedule.
The 7 o'clock alarm train. The 7:15 breakfast train.
Right. And what happens when you talk like a train schedule?
I sound boring, and my morning is definitely not a smooth train ride.
Usually, there are delays on the track.
Yes, a lot of mechanical failures before 8 o'clock.
But textbooks rarely teach us the vocabulary for those messy delays.
That is so true. They only teach the perfect routine.
They give you the words for the main events.
Like I shower, or I get dressed, or I leave the house.
But they miss all the tiny, frustrating in-between moments.
The in-between moments are where all the stress happens.
That is a great point. What does an in-between moment look like for you?
Like when you are standing in the kitchen, just staring.
Staring at the coffee maker.
Yes, waiting for the dark water to drip, because you cannot form a thought yet.
The train schedule vocabulary does not cover that feeling at all.
No, it really doesn't.
When you only have those basic timeline words, you feel restricted.
I feel like a beginner again.
Even if your English is actually quite strong in other areas.
That is the frustrating part. I know more words, but they disappear.
They disappear because you are trying to force a messy reality into a neat list.
I never thought about it like that.
You are trying to make human life sound like a clean report.
A very boring report. And then someone asks about my day.
This happens at work all the time.
A coworker says, "Good morning. How is your day going?"
And your brain panics.
My brain searches for the perfect textbook answer.
So you just say, I woke up early and everything is fine.
Because fine is safe.
It is safe, but it stops the conversation.
It definitely does. The coworker just nods and walks away.
Because the truth is usually more chaotic and more interesting.
The truth is, dropping my toast on the floor.
Right, but we hide the toast.
We hide it because we think natural English needs to be polite English.
That is a huge misconception for learners.
We think we have to sound professional and perfectly organized all the time.
But native speakers do not sound perfectly organized.
They complain about their mornings all the time.
Exactly. Sharing a tiny, honest struggle is how people connect.
That makes sense. Honesty connects people more than perfection.
Building that connection is why we focus on real life here.
If you like this gentle way of learning, subscribing is a nice way to stay with us.
So, let's replace that train schedule with something more human.
I am ready. Where do we start?
We start by noticing how you actually move when the alarm rings.
Honestly, I move very slowly.
That is a great detail. How do you get up?
I usually drag myself out of bed.
Drag myself out of bed is a perfect natural phrase.
Really? It sounds a little dramatic.
It is a little dramatic, but extremely common.
It definitely describes how heavy my legs feel at 7.
It paints a picture. It shows physical effort.
It is much better than just saying, I wake up.
I wake up is just a fact.
I drag myself out of bed is a story.
Exactly. You are already making it sound more natural.
Okay, but what happens after I finally get out of bed?
Then the morning rush usually starts.
That is when the panic begins.
You start running around looking for your keys.
Or realizing I forgot to wash my favorite shirt.
We often say the whole morning just becomes a blur.
A blur. That is exactly how it feels.
It goes by so fast that you cannot remember the specific details.
I use that idea in my native language all the time.
But saying it in English changes the tone of your story.
It makes the listener understand why I look so tired.
Yes, it invites them into your real experience.
I like that. It feels like a real conversation.
That is the secret. You do not have to be a perfect timeline.
That is a relief, but I still need more words for the chaos.
Let's talk about the expectations we set for ourselves before the day even begins.
You mean the fantasy morning routine?
Yes, the one we write down on Sunday night.
Oh, I have a list. Wake up at 6, exercise, drink lemon water.
It sounds incredibly peaceful.
It does, but it only happens twice a year.
Right. And what happens on the other days?
I sleep through my alarm and wake up in a panic.
That gap between fantasy and reality creates guilt.
It really does. I feel like I am failing before breakfast.
And that guilt makes it harder to talk honestly.
Because I do not want to admit my plan fell apart.
Exactly. So we hide behind polite, generic English.
We go back to saying, I woke up early and I am fine.
But that word fine is a wall. It stops people knowing you.
That makes sense. But honestly, sometimes I want that wall.
That is fair. You choose your boundaries.
I do not want to tell a stranger on the bus about my stress.
You do not have to. Protect your energy.
So when do I drop the wall?
When you want to build a relationship with a coworker or friend.
Okay, that distinction helps. I need those honest words for my friends.
Let's look at a concrete way to say it.
I am ready. What is the phrase?
You can describe the action itself. For example, I had to throw on my clothes.
Throw on my clothes. That paints a very clear picture.
It means you got dressed extremely fast, without thinking about it at all.
It sounds a little chaotic.
It is chaotic, but it is a relatable human experience.
Wait, if I say that to my boss, does it sound unprofessional?
That is a great question about tone.
Yeah, I do not want my boss to think my whole life is a mess.
With a manager, you might want a softer, more general version.
What is the softer version for the workplace?
You could just say, my morning was a bit frantic today.
Frantic. I really like that word.
It means hurried and slightly panicked, but it sounds very natural.
It sounds honest, but still polite enough for the office.
Exactly. It gives the other person a small window into your reality.
Without giving them every messy detail about my lost shoe.
Right. You do not have to overshare to make a human connection.
I just have to stop acting like a perfect robot.
But let's look at why dropping that act feels hard.
It feels hard because my brain translates honest words too slowly.
Yes, and that brings up a huge issue for English learners.
What do you mean?
When you speak a second language, your brain wants to feel safe.
Definitely. Making a mistake feels dangerous.
So you choose the safest, most perfect-sounding textbook sentence.
Even if it does not match my real life.
Right. Saying I was frantic feels risky compared to I am fine.
That hits hard. I hide my personality behind safe words.
That is a very normal part of living in a second language.
It is exhausting, honestly.
It is exhausting to play a perfect character all day.
I feel like I am reading a script instead of having a conversation.
And the fear of making a grammar mistake keeps you stuck in that script.
So how do I break out of it?
By giving yourself permission to use the messy words, even if they aren't perfect.
Even if my grammar slips a little while I tell the story?
Yes, people connect with your reality, not your grammar.
That takes a lot of pressure off my shoulders.
Let's practice bringing that messy reality into a real scene.
Okay, I am ready to be honest.
Think about your commute this morning after you finally left the house.
Oh, my commute was terrible today.
Tell me what happened.
Well, because of the shoe problem, I missed my usual train.
So you were already running late before you even reached the station.
Exactly. I was staring at the empty track, feeling completely defeated.
That is such a strong, concrete image.
It felt awful. Just me and my cold cup of coffee.
And when you finally got on the next train, how did it feel?
I just stood there trying to catch my breath.
Catch my breath. That is a beautiful, natural phrase.
It is literally what I was doing. I was breathing so heavily.
It also works emotionally. You are pausing to calm down.
Yeah, I needed a minute to just reset my brain for the day.
That is a deeply human moment.
But if a coworker asked later, I would probably just say, the train was late.
And what does that phrase do?
The train was late blames the train.
True. It hides the fact that your morning was already difficult.
It hides the human side of the story completely.
But if you say, I am just catching my breath, it changes everything.
Because it invites them into my real experience.
Exactly. It shows you are human, and they probably feel that way too.
I think I am starting to see why the textbook answers feel so empty.
That empty feeling happens when you erase yourself from the story.
Yeah, I become just a reporter giving the morning news about a train.
But the conversation is supposed to be about your human experience.
That makes sense. But how do I know how much to share?
That is the practical limitation we need to look at.
Because I definitely do not want to complain for 10 minutes.
Exactly. There is a contrast between being honest and oversharing.
I struggle with that balance.
Honest English does not mean telling your deepest secrets.
So I do not need to talk about my childhood fears at the water cooler.
No, please save that for your friends.
Okay, good. That feels a lot safer.
The goal is just to offer one small, real detail.
Like mentioning the cold cup of coffee.
Yes, or simply naming the energy of your morning.
What do you mean by naming the energy?
Well, what usually happens when you finally sit at your desk?
I drop my bag and stare at my computer screen for a minute.
Are you resting?
Not really. My brain is just trying to catch up with my body.
Catch up is a perfect natural phrase there.
My body rushed to the office, but my mind is still at home.
Exactly. The morning moved faster than you did.
So, what could I say to a coworker in that moment?
You might just smile and say, I had a bit of a slow start today.
A slow start. I really like that frame.
It is professional, it is honest, and it is very common.
But wait, will my manager think I am lazy if I say that?
That is a very common fear for language learners.
Yeah, we are taught to always look busy and perfect at work.
But think about the tone. You are not complaining loudly.
I am just stating a simple fact about my morning.
Exactly. Managers are human too. They also have slow starts.
I guess I forget that sometimes.
When you own your reality calmly, people actually respect it.
It shows confidence. I am not hiding my messy morning.
Right. You are just framing it in a calm, adult way.
That feels completely different from panicking and saying, I am fine.
It changes the whole dynamic of the conversation.
Sometimes I am not just having a slow start, though.
You mean the complete opposite feeling?
Yes. Sometimes I am trying to do 5 things at once.
Tell me what that looks like.
I am holding my bag, checking my phone, and trying to pour coffee.
That sounds like a disaster waiting to happen.
It usually is. I always spill the coffee on the counter.
And then you are instantly stressed.
Very stressed, because now I have to clean it up.
In English, we often describe that feeling as running behind.
Running behind. Does that just mean I am late?
It is slightly different. Being late is the result.
So, running behind is the action before the result?
Exactly. It means you are currently in the process of being late.
Oh, you are chasing the clock.
Right. You feel the heavy pressure of the time.
I use that phrase in my head all morning.
And that feeling of running behind happens in language learning too.
Oh, every single time I speak English.
Tell me how that feels in a real conversation.
It feels like the other person is moving at the speed of a fast train.
And you are still standing on the platform?
Yes, I am standing there desperately looking for one vocabulary word.
That is a very lonely feeling.
It really is. I feel like my English is always running behind.
And when you feel behind, you try to hide it.
Yes, I smile, nod, and pretend I understood everything.
But nodding politely is just another way of saying, I am fine.
Wow, that is true. It is the exact same wall.
It blocks the other person from knowing your real experience.
So if I do not understand something, I should just admit it?
Yes. Admitting you missed a word is like admitting you had a slow start.
It feels vulnerable, but it is actually just honest.
And people respond beautifully to honesty.
Because a perfect conversation sounds like a robot.
A robot who never spills coffee and never misses a train.
That robot sounds very boring.
So true. Your mistakes and messy moments make you approachable.
I just need the courage to use the messy words.
And the right words to describe that mess.
Which brings us back to those textbook vocabulary lists.
We are throwing those away today.
I am very happy to hear that.
Instead of reciting a timeline, you are going to tell a tiny story.
The alarm is loud. The coffee spills.
And you survive it anyway.
Barely, but yes, I survive.
Let's gather the natural phrases we use today to tell that story.
We have collected some really good ones so far.
We will review them clearly in our meaning moments section next.
I am definitely going to need them when my alarm rings tomorrow.
It is time to look closely at the vocabulary we use today.
I am ready for meaning moments.
We collected some great phrases that describe a real, messy morning.
These are definitely better than the train schedule words.
The textbook gives you the perfect routine, but real life needs different words.
Real life needs words for dropping toast on the floor.
Exactly. Let's start with the very first moment of the day.
The hardest part, honestly.
We use the phrase, drag myself out of bed.
Yeah, because waking up usually requires physical force.
It means to force yourself to get up when you are extremely tired.
It is much more descriptive than just saying, I woke up.
Saying you woke up only gives the time.
Right, it has zero emotion.
For example, you might say, I had to drag myself out of bed this morning.
It works perfectly when it is cold and dark outside.
Or when you stayed up too late studying English.
Oof, I know that feeling very well.
Try saying it now. Repeat. Drag myself out of bed.
Drag myself out of bed. I will definitely use that one tomorrow.
The next one is about how the morning feels when you are rushing.
When everything happens too fast to remember.
Yes, we called the morning a blur.
So a blur is something that is not clear to the eye?
Right. But we use it for time, meaning an event passed so quickly you cannot remember details.
Like when I leave the house but cannot remember if I locked the door.
That is a perfect everyday example.
Or when you have 3 meetings in a row and forget to eat.
You could tell a coworker, my entire morning was a blur today.
I love that because it explains why I look a little confused.
It also shows that you are busy without complaining too heavily.
That is a nice balance.
Ready to try it? Repeat. A blur?
A blur. That is exactly what my commute felt like.
That brings us to a really useful word for workplace honesty.
The one that is safe for the office, right?
Yes, the word is frantic.
I remember this one. It means rushing and feeling a little panicked.
Exactly. It shows you are stressed, but it still sounds professional.
It is a good replacement for the word crazy.
That is a great point. Saying my morning was frantic is softer than saying it was crazy.
Because crazy sounds a bit too dramatic for a manager.
Right. You might say, things were a bit frantic before I left the house.
That gives them the truth without all the messy details.
Let's practice the tone. Repeat, frantic.
Frantic. I feel calmer just knowing that word.
Now, let's look at the phrase for when the panic finally stops.
Oh, the moment on the train with my cold coffee.
We use the phrase, catch my breath.
Literally trying to breathe normally again after running.
Yes, but we also use it emotionally.
To mean taking a small pause to relax?
It means to rest for a moment after a busy or stressful activity.
Like sitting at your desk for 2 minutes before opening your email.
You could say, I just need a minute to catch my breath.
That is such a human thing to say.
And people usually respect that boundary when you ask for it.
Let's practice that one.
Repeat. Catch my breath.
Catch my breath. I need to do that more often.
We also talked about what to say when your energy is low at work.
When my mind is still at home in bed.
Yes, we called that a slow start.
I really liked that frame.
It means beginning an activity without much speed or energy.
And it does not sound like I am just being lazy.
No, it sounds like you are being honest about your morning rhythm.
So I can just say, I am having a slow start today.
Exactly. It is a very polite way to manage expectations.
Let's lock that one in.
Repeat, a slow start.
A slow start.
Finally, let's look at the phrase for chasing the clock.
This is the one I feel in my bones every day.
The phrase is running behind.
It feels different than just saying I am late.
It does. It means you are currently delayed and trying to catch up.
So, you say it while the delay is happening.
Yes. You might text a friend, I am running a little behind today.
It sounds a little more active than just being late.
It focuses on the process, not just the failure of being late.
That is much better than apologizing over and over.
Try it now. Repeat. Running behind.
Running behind. I will probably text that to someone this week.
These phrases give you permission to be human in English.
I feel like I finally have the vocabulary for my real life.
We would love to hear how your real morning started today.
Yes. Tell us the messy truth.
Leave a comment and describe one honest moment from your morning routine.
Try to use one of the phrases we learned today.
Even just one short sentence is great practice.
I promise we will not judge you if your morning was a blur.
It is perfectly okay if your morning routine does not look like a textbook.
Yeah, I am officially letting go of the perfect schedule today.
The perfect schedule is just a fantasy anyway.
Exactly. Real life usually includes a lost shoe or spilled coffee.
And when you share those small, honest moments, you actually connect with people.
It is so much better than just pretending everything is perfectly fine.
Real life is messy, and your spoken English is allowed to be messy too.
I think that is the most comforting thing I heard all week.
Thank you for spending part of your real, imperfect day with us.
We are always glad you are here with us on Everyday English Learning.
Do not forget to leave a quick comment about your actual morning.
Tell us the truth, even if your morning was completely frantic.
Until next time, I'm Lily.
And I'm Jake.
Take care, and we will talk to you very soon.
See you next time, even if you are running a little behind today.